a lot of boxers don't do this. This is why Canelo's not fighting Benavidez. Why would Canelo fight Benavidez, who's relatively unknown, and Benavidez beats him, and Benavidez becomes overnight a superstar? That's Canelo's letting Benavidez make a name off of him.
Wait, so you're saying that you're going to make Conor McGregor?
If it was up to me, like we keep on saying, we want to see Benavidez. Canelo, hell of a fighter, but my personal opinion, he's ducking Benavidez. You know, that's just my personal opinion, and I'm allowed to speak my mind. That's just what it is. We want to see Benavidez. Let's make it happen.
David Benavidez isn't holding back. After Canelo Alvarez's loss to Terence Crawford, the unbeaten monster of the super middleweight division is turning up the heat, flat out claiming that Canelo is too scared to face him.
Why can you not give us Canelo Benavidez? Why? Canelo, why? I do not understand it. You're demanding $200 million? Like, come on, dude. Basically, Canelo doesn't want to give us the good fights. Imagine if Canelo and Benavidez gets made. That's the Super Bowl of boxing. Boxing is on the rise. Canelo, don't screw it up for us. I thought I would never say this, but Canelo's scared. Literally, I thought I would, as a fighter, I know fighters are not scared. But wow, we've been begging Canelo, please, Canelo, please.
Saul Canelo Alvarez had refused to fight David Benavidez, as he did not like his ways, considering that he was only looking for the millions of dollars he would be guaranteed. Before the face-off between Canelo and Crawford, veteran trainer Ronnie Shields boldly claimed Terence Bud Crawford was going to win, and he remains firm in that prediction. After the fight, Shields said that he always knew Crawford's speed and ability to switch stances from orthodox to southpaw would be too difficult for Canelo to deal with. He confirmed this point by describing how Bud's ability to switch stances, attack or back out, and control the distance exposed Canelo's minor flaws in defense, and Bud presented openings to create action.
Predicted Crawford by unanimous decision. We got that. You know, I just thought Crawford was too fast for Canelo. Too many combinations. Canelo doesn't jab anymore. He looks for one shot now. You know, I mean, the end is there for Canelo. And I just think that Crawford was too fast for him, you know, especially in the southpaw position. We all know Canelo have problems with the southpaw. So, you know, and that's why I picked Crawford. I just thought Crawford could be too fast for him.
Former professional boxer coach Ronnie Shields commended Terence Crawford for executing a nearly perfect game plan, staying composed, timing his attacks, and punishing each mistake that Canelo made. Shields said it was a brilliant demonstration of ring IQ and tactical execution, just like he predicted before the fight. After the match, Shields even suggested Canelo should consider retirement, since so many top-level fights clearly took a toll on him. Oscar De La Hoya, conversely, had a different perspective. He reiterated the decision was completely up to Canelo. If the champion thinks he's done, then Canelo should retire. But if he continues fighting, he has to be choosy on who he fights. De La Hoya said that he honestly thought that Crawford was amazing, and he learned that Bud was so talented at seeing styles and counterpunching, and that it truly was overwhelming. A return to his leisure thinking. Subsequently, De La Hoya said it was a reminder of why Crawford is regarded as one of the smartest and adaptable fighters in boxing.
Crawford is older than Canelo, so we can't use the excuse that he's older, right? We can't use the excuse that, oh, well, you know, he moved around too much. Well, it's your job to figure him out, right? Just like Chavez would figure out a fighter, just like I would figure out a fighter, just like any real great fighter can figure styles out. That's your job. I think Crawford did a tremendous job. Kudos to him. Sky's the limit for Crawford, and I really don't know where Canelo goes, seriously.
Mexican-American promoter and former professional boxer Oscar De La Hoya didn't stop at weighing in on Canelo's next steps. He also looked at Terence Crawford's road following the historic victory. Based on De La Hoya's comments, clearly Crawford is brimming with confidence, and that shall only elevate him into bigger challenges. De La Hoya noted that Crawford appears entirely comfortable and settled at super middleweight, and Crawford has no true reason to revert to 154. That said, he could consider returning to 160 160 if a blockbuster fight were presented. In Oscar's opinion, the most interesting fight available right now is to face the blossoming Virgil Ortiz, a fight he believes offers an entertaining, action-packed fight and intrigue worthy of Crawford's current standing.
What about Virgil and Crawford at 160? Imagine that. Would be incredible. So there's a good possibility that Crawford will stay at 168. Most likely go down to 160. I don't think he's gonna touch 154. I think he'll stay at 160 eventually and try to find the biggest fights possible. And the biggest fight for him would be of Virgil Ortiz.
Rolly Romero endorsed Terrence Bud Crawford's performance in the September 13th main event against Canelo Alvarez. Romero stated that it takes something special to hand a loss to Canelo, and Crawford did just that. He noted that the opening rounds were closely contested, with Canelo coming forward and keeping the fight very tight. However, as the fight progressed, Romero noted that Crawford was gradually taking full control, dictating the pace, landing the clearer shots, and winning round after round. Romero stated that Bud's ability to adjust on the fly to take down an elite opponent shows you why so many people are starting to rank him as one of the greatest of all time in boxing today, calling it a mission, accomplished amazingly, making it nearly unthinkable.
Terrence made me, that performance did something really special for me.
Yeah?
Yeah, and a lot more special than what probably anyone else is probably thinking, honestly. I didn't expect Crawford to be that big.
Oh yeah.
I didn't expect Crawford to be that big, but I mean, Canelo did good the first few rounds, you know, first like all the way up like to round 4, and then that's when Crawford took over, you know. So I mean, the second half of the fight though, it was all Crawford. There was no question about it.
Crawford thinks like Canelo and is also afraid of a fight against David Benavidez. The American boxer comes from beating his Mexican counterpart. Terrence Crawford thinks like Saul Canelo Alvarez and is also afraid of a fight against David Benavidez. The American boxer comes from beating his Mexican counterpart Saul Canelo Alvarez and stripping him of his belts. David Benavidez issues his demands to Canelo Alvarez to set up Mexico's dream fight in boxing. Former world champion urges Canelo Alvarez to retire following defeat to Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford thinks like Saul Canelo Alvarez and is also afraid of a fight against David Benavidez. The American boxer comes from beating his Mexican counterpart Saul Canelo Alvarez and stripping him of his belts. Ver esta publicación en Instagram. Terrence Crawford. Benavidez is a big guy, although I'm not saying I won't fight him. The only reason I faced Canelo is because he's not a big guy, whereas Benavidez is like 1.80, plus he'll weigh 88 to 90 kilos. Boxing journalist Dan Rafael also saw it the way Rolly Romero did, as the early rounds among Canelo and Crawford were a brutal, exciting back and forth bout. As Rafael pointed out, however, Crawford had not only prepared meticulously for the bout, but he executed the plan with total precision and easily outperformed the bigger, more experienced Canelo. Rafael was impressed with Crawford's methodical mindset and long game, calling both superb, while reminding the fans how many doubted Bud before the bout, citing all of Canelo's size, power, and title fighting experience as advantages that were supposed to be impossible to overcome. What it came down to for Crawford, Rafael unwound, was the focus, discipline, and commitment to training, which turned this challenge into a reasonable outcome and indeed a victory. These things helped make Crawford one of boxing's most complete and determined champions.
I thought he did a great job. I thought it was close. I had Canelo ahead in the early going, but I thought Crawford did an amazing job closing that fight down in the last few rounds, where he really started to back the supposed bigger guy up, although for me, they looked about the same size. But that was a brilliant performance, and what can you say? I mean, you got to give him his credit. He created a lot of history. He dreamt this fight. He willed it to happen. A lot of people, not me, but a lot of people laughed at him, said forget about it, no chance against a bigger guy like that. But he showed his greatness.
Dan Rafael then explained that although a Canelo-Crawford rematch would generate massive interest, it was neither the best nor smartest play for either fighter at the moment. He advised both men to see some other high-stakes alternatives better suited to each of their careers at the moment. Regarding Canelo, Rafael suggested that he analyze both the pros and cons of the fight and assess carefully who to fight next, if anyone at all. As for Crawford, Rafael stated that this historic victory has raised Bud's stature to a point where every single top contender will be calling him out. However, Rafael continued, Crawford needs to weigh every option very carefully with regard to what division they may be fighting in, how big the event may be, and what titles may be involved in the fight for his next opportunity.
If Canelo had won, the winner of Eubank and Ben 2, the Hamza Shiraz, I mean, those types of names. He's got mandatories. Mabili got the draw tonight in a great fight. There's other fighters that have belts and interim belts and blah, blah, blah. So, you know, nobody's going to rush Terence Crawford into his next fight. He'll take his time, and, you know, whatever the next fight is, it's going to be a big one because, you know, his name is even greater now than what happened going into this fight for him. So he beats Canelo Alvarez, you know, it becomes a much bigger deal.
Lloyd Schofield, who had been firmly certain that Canelo Alvarez would win on September 13th after the fight, said he couldn't believe the complete dominance of Terence Crawford. Schofield claimed he thought he would see a classic Canelo performance, but instead saw the Mexican star fall completely short. For the first time, Schofield even wondered out loud if Canelo was approaching the end of his career. Breaking down the fight with Crawford, he pointed out that Crawford was better than Canelo in every category: speed, timing, and clearly ring control, as he built a wide lead and coasted to a dominant victory. He did say he hoped Canelo didn't hang it up and that he could regroup and make a strong comeback so the boxing world could see him again as the champion he once was.
Domination. I was hurt, I ain't gonna lie, because I've been a fan of Canelo since I was a kid, so my heart, a tear almost came on my eye, I ain't gonna lie, because it felt like, you know, that Canelo's done. But I just think he was a little off that night. I think he can, you know, make a big comeback. But to Crawford, man, he's the greatest of this era. You got to give it to him. Greatest of this era. Nobody's ever done that before. 3-time undisputed. So you got to take your hats off to Crawford. And I was just shocked that he was able to just dismantle Canelo like that. You know, even with the size difference. That just goes to show size doesn't win fights.
Canelo Alvarez's record is a roadmap for a modern boxing great, a 4-division world champion, international pay-per-view star, and a career driven by fighting the best. From the teenage rise in Mexico to signature victories over consensus legends such as Miguel Cotto and Sergey Kovalev, he has shown not only devastating counterpunching, but also the ability to adjust almost to every style in front of him. That level of consistency at the elite ranks has ensured he is a worldwide star and one of the sport's most marketable fighters. As for ex-champion Shane Mosley, who shared the squared circle with a young Canelo back in 2012, he recalled the experience as being in front of a boxer wise beyond his years. Mosley emphasized Canelo's patience, precise timing, and natural strength, and he sensed even then the qualities of a future pound-for-pound great. To Mosley, even then Canelo had the calmness of a veteran, and it is the trait that has characterized his trajectory from phenomenon to one of boxing's most illustrious champions.
As a young kid, I think he was 21, 22 years old, he had a lot of experience, I should say. He had a lot of boxing experience at his age.
40, 50 fights?
Huh?
He had 40 or 50 fights at that point, right?
40, 50 fights, but not just that. I'm talking about experience as far as knowledge about being the real, like, experience. You know, like veteran experience. Like he knew how to counter, he knew how to block and counter, knew how to do different things. So it wasn't like he was just an ordinary fighter. And I was like, and fighting him, I'm like, wow, he actually knows how to, like, you know, get away from stuff. He knows how to counter. He knows how to, like, you know, trick shots up and say he knows how to do stuff, you know.
Additionally, two of Canelo's greatest accomplishments were the back-to-back fights against Gennady Golovkin, where he demonstrated his durability and championship spirit in 2 evenly matched contests. He also secured his legacy as the first undisputed super middleweight champion by outpointing Caleb Plant to unify all 4 major belts. In addition to titles, Canelo has taken on dangerous challenges across weight classes and has never avoided high stakes. His career, while he continues to fight, epitomizes longevity and excellence. It combines great technical skills with the fighting spirit that embodies the pride of boxing in Mexico. These accomplishments have elevated him as one of the finest fighters in his era. The fact that Crawford returned the belts to Canelo after he defeated him shows how respected he has earned in boxing. David David Benavidez has established a reputation as a fierce competitor among super middleweights, and his victory over Anthony Dirrell in 2019 was a significant moment in his resume. After stopping the more experienced champion in the 9th round to recapture the WBC belt, Benavidez spoke with the kind of calm assurance of a fighter who understood he belonged at the highest level. He described the fight as a dream come true and referred to how special the belt was to him after successfully regaining it at 22 years old. Benavidez praised his unrelenting pressure and sharp combination punching for wearing down the veteran Dirrell, tightening the grip and momentum of the fight with each round. He referred to the win as proof of his growth and discipline, proof that his youth and power, coupled with focus and discipline, made him the man to beat at 168.
I feel great, man. Words can't explain how good I feel. I said I was gonna get in here. I was gonna win the belt again. Like I said, it was a hard fight. You know, my Dirrell was trying to catch me all night. He was trying to counter me when I would step in. But you know, we were willing to take the chances, and he didn't catch me at all. It was a hard fight, but you know, my dreams come true. You know, second time fighting on pay-per-view. All my people out there came out to support. So man, it's an amazing feeling. I just can't wait to get back in there again and defend my titles.
After the sensational encounter between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, boxing fans are eagerly engaging in conversation about what might happen next. Some fans and analysts are suggesting that a rematch is warranted, and some think Canelo should move on to other challenges, as should Crawford. On Benavidez's side of the argument, he has publicly called out Canelo after his fight. As many see it, the idea of youth against an old legend is too much fun and intrigue not to explore. Plenty of voices have called for Canelo to consider walking away to protect his legacy after what has been an incredible career thus far. In regard to Crawford's victory, it simply adds to the possibilities of what Bud Crawford can do next. Would you like to see him focus on up-and-coming star Virgil Ortiz, try to become a champion at middleweight/super middleweight by going after one of the experienced champions, or go the route of another pound-for-pound mega challenge? What are your thoughts? Should Canelo accept the challenge from Benavidez or retire? And who should Bud take on next? Let us know below, and remember to like and subscribe for the latest in boxing.